All right, welcome everybody. If you're just joining us, this is your host, Abhi Kaushik. We have about 42 participants on the line. Let's send our text messages out, our emails out, let our teammates know so we can hit our target of 100 people. But our speaker for today is none other than Mr. Daine Clark. Now, if you're new to the call, you don't know Daine's backstory. Before getting started with Renatus, Daine was actually working at the Apple store, and he was also working as a roofer. Now, at the Apple store, he wasn't your typical extroverted man greeting you at the front and showing you around. He was more of the shy guy in the back, and he was counting inventory, but he knew during that time that he had to work on his personal skills, connecting with other people, and so he started venturing out on opportunities to do that. He knew that the jobs that he had at that time were not going to pay his bills and allow him to really grow his income. So he started looking for other income generation opportunities. And like many of us, he was lucky enough to find Renatus. And he took the opportunity very, very seriously, didn't just treat it like a hobby. He treated it like a business, plugged into the Renatus system, started listening to his mentors, and actually applied velocity banking to pay down his student education debt, and was eventually able to get a duplex living on one side and renting out the other. If we fast forward to today, Daine has now raised over $6 million from investors to lend on various real estate transactions, and he has just grown his team. He's a PIT team member. He's recognized as a key leader by our CEO, Bob Snyder, and we're just very fortunate to have Daine as our presenter, our trainer here today. So without further delay, I'd like to bring Daine Clark on the line. Good morning, Daine. How is your morning going today?
Good morning, Abhi. It's going wonderful. How about yours?
Mine's going great as well. Thank you for asking, and thank you for presenting today and teaching us all about the great things you've learned along your journey.
Cool. Well, without further ado, let's see. Let me share my screen here. Do I need to have you make me a co-host, or am I good to go ahead and start that?
You are the host now, so you can go ahead and start.
All right, wonderful. Start screen share. All right, cool. Welcome, everybody. Good morning as well. Happy almost 4th of July. Today I have something really special I want to talk about, and I apologize that I did not get it out to Abhi soon enough to send that out in the text message, but I actually want to talk about how this 4th of July we can all declare financial independence in our lives. And because, and also really quickly, everybody, you're going to want to figure out how to bring yourself off of mute in the next few minutes, because I do want to hear from a bunch of you guys. So if you don't know how to do that, if you're on the app, you can just click the little mute button that looks like a phone or looks like an audio something or other. If you're on the phone only, Abhi, do you know how to do that? If they're on the phone only, is it just like *4 or something like that, or *6?
*6, but
okay.
We'll have to double check.
So it might be *6, might be *4, something like that. But yeah. So really quickly, I want to know in five words or less, or in 5 seconds or less, what are your guys' plans to go, or what are you guys doing for the 4th of July this year? Who are you going to spend your time with? And I'll go ahead and start out. My wife and I are doing a bunch of things this weekend. We're going to the rodeo with a bunch of family and friends on the 4th. And then we're going camping up at Lagoon with a bunch of more family and friends. Different family and friends, but we're going up to Lagoon and camping for the rest of the weekend. And then we're going to go hit the mountains for the final couple nights of the weekend, and then we'll head back home. What are you guys doing? Sandra, I see you just came on.
Yes.
Wanda, I see you just came on.
Yeah, this is Wanda. I'm going to Florida to be with my family and spend the 4th of July and the weekend.
Cool. Way cool. And this is going to play into the training too. So the more people we get to that will jump on, the better. So Sandra, go ahead. I see that you're off mute.
Yes, this is Sandra, and I'm going road tripping with my family, and we're gonna cover Vegas, Los Angeles, and finally San Francisco.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be so much fun. That's quite the road trip. Holy smokes. That's going to be like 2,000 miles.
Yes, I'm visiting
Bill.
all my family over there, so.
Yes, cool, way cool. Bill, I see that you're off of mute as well. Bill Palm, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah, hi. I'm planning on spending time with family and any spare moment just going over my Renatus education. So I just got mine, and so I'm devoting a lot of time to it.
Good. Congratulations, brother. Congratulations. All right, who else? Come off of mute. Tell me what you're doing for this 4th of July. And then we'll share how we're gonna declare some financial independence. Who else? Tyler Mead, I see that you just joined. We're going around and everybody's sharing what they're doing this 4th of July, and then we're going to talk about how to declare financial independence this 4th of July.
Hi, Dale. Hi, Dale.
Hey, how's it going?
This is Patricia from California. Hi, Bill. I'm going to be going 12 miles to go see my brother and his family for the 4th of July.
Nice. Well, you have a very safe trip.
Thank you.
Here, let me mute that. Oh, maybe that's not you. Sorry, Heather, I had to mute you. All right, looks like 801-898-4524. What's your name and what are you doing this 4th of July?
Hello, Daine.
Whoever.
This is Frankie.
Hey, how's it going? Frankie, what's up, brother?
Good. Hey, not much, man. Hey, this 4th of July, I'm spending most of the time with my family and heading out to the mountains.
Mountains? Good. I hope to see you there. I know the mountains are big, so we might not cross paths, but if I do, awesome.
Yeah, we're planning on heading up to the Yellowstone.
Oh, fun. Way fun.
Yeah.
Okay. I got, who is G6? G6 has been waiting for just a minute. That's off of mute. What's your name and what are you doing this 4th of July? If you know who you are.
Hi, this is Debbie.
Debbie, how's it going?
Good. I am going to the Bay Area to visit my daughter.
Ooh, fun. Way fun. Where are you from? Is it a long drive or flight?
Yeah, I'm flying. I'm from Phoenix, so she's planning to move here in October. Nice. So last
good.
Last there. Yep. So awesome.
Cool. Way cool. All right, whoever G6 is, and Frankie, I'm going to go ahead and mute you. G6, do you know who you are? All right, doesn't look like they know who they are. Anybody else? I've got 607-743-9001.
Hi, my name is Cindy Byler. To be honest, we don't have a whole lot of plans. My husband told me he wants to go skydiving on Friday, so that might be
skydiving. There you go.
I mean, he's in the military and he's jumped out of a few planes, but.
Okay. So it's every day for him.
Right. But we'll likely be hitting it up at the lake and going fishing.
Cool.
So,
way cool. Any other people involved, or just your immediate family? Any other people that you guys have been hanging out with?
Family. Yeah, because we're in the military, we don't really, we're not around family. We're in Texas. Yeah,
nice.
What to do? He's getting time off.
Cool.
So yeah.
Cool. Well, just a couple more here. Melissa Kurtz.
Hello, I am going up north to see my mom, which is a drive of about 7 hours, so that's pretty good.
Nice. That'll be way fun. Isn't a Thursday, July 4th, just like the perfect day to fall on? You got this big, nice, long weekend. So cool, way cool. Sherry Asbury.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm going to be spending 4th of July in Newport Beach, California.
Ooh, fun. Way fun. What people are going to be there?
You know, so far it's just me and my friend Carrie. Doesn't make it more, you know?
Yeah, no worries. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Who's invited? What kind of people are you hanging around with? All right, whoever G6 is, did you figure out who you are? All right, maybe not. I'm going to go ahead and put that person on mute. So cool. Let's go ahead and get started. And and the reason I want to talk about this as well is because when I was new in Renatus, I actually had some struggles with doing exactly what I want to share with you guys today. So when I was new, when I was trying to get my business off the ground, when I was trying to start turning my Renatus education into money, and Sherry, I see you keep on coming off of mute. Did you want to say something?
I didn't know if it said that you wanted to unmute me, so if you want me to go back on mute, that's fine.
Okay, cool. I'll go ahead and mute you. Okay, cool. So if anybody does want to come back off of mute, we're just going to keep it on mute just so we don't have a lot of background noise as we go through this. But yeah, if you do have questions, comments, then either text them in. I can't see the text message comments while I'm sharing my screen on this app. So if you want to come off of mute, then please do. But so what I was talking about is when I was new to Renatus and I was just getting started with my education, I was trying to turn my education into money. And I didn't quite know how to do that yet. I felt very educated. I felt like I had learned a ton of stuff, but turning that education into dollars and cents was, I feel like I had to learn how to just change my mindset. And so for today, oh, come on, iPad. Is my Apple Pencil working? There we go. So declaring financial independence, declaring financial independence today. I learned something, that when you open your mouth and just start talking about what you're learning, which means you do have to be watching your classes. And so opening your mouth and just start talking about what you're learning, I found creates a lot of intrigue. And so here's how I sold my first few combos, if you will, or even raised my first money. And for those of you who have never seen this before, I'm just going to briefly go over that this concept that I've learned. Every single human being is their relationship to real estate is that they are more of a passive investor, where they do not have time, but they do have money. They are an active investor, where they do actually spend their time or want to spend their time. And whether they have money or whether they don't have money, it doesn't really matter. They are somebody who is in survival mode and they own real estate. So survival mode with real estate. And when you're in survival mode, it doesn't really matter if you have time. It doesn't really matter if you have money. Typically, if you had money, you wouldn't be in survival mode. And so these people have properties because they have the real estate. They want to offload their real estate. And this last box, I call this the not interested box. And if any of you have ever heard my stories about the not interested box, I call this really my not interested yet. Let me make that a little bit bigger. I call this my not interested yet box, because this last box, it has a special place in my heart, meaning that the people that are not interested in real estate investing, usually life is going to slap them in the face a few times because because they didn't get on the bandwagon. Also, this box, who cares if they have time or who cares if they have money? These are the type of people, this is the mindset these are the people who have the mindset that are going to make you very wealthy as a real estate investor. Obviously, all of these other ones do too. The passive investor, the active investor is people with real estate problems. But the people that are not interested yet, these are the ones that are going to make you rich. Because if they're not interested in real estate investing, then they are going to be investing in real estate for you. And maybe not necessarily people in your life that are going to rent from you or people that are going to buy your home retail and help you make $30,000, $40,000 net profit on a fix and flip type of a deal, but it's just a mindset. And so whenever I encounter these type of people that are not interested in real estate, they have that special place in my heart because to be honest, more people than not are going to be in this not interested yet box. If I look at my Renatus career, I have 24 people in my passive investor box that I'm currently actively doing real estate deals with. We've got several $1 million that is currently out in real estate. If I look at my active investors, this includes all of my Renatus students, all of my team members, like my title agent, my realtor, my contractor, CPA. I've got somewhere between 80 and 90 people there. I've done I'm not sure what the number is, but 45 deals where we've helped somebody that had some kind of problem. They were in survival mode and they needed to get rid of a piece of real estate for some reason or another. And I've got like 200 plus people in my not interested yet box. Okay. So for those of you who have never heard that before, I just wanted to kind of catch you up very, very quickly. So let's go back to this declaring the financial independence. I did not create, if I draw a line here, everybody on the left of this side of the box are people that I was able to make money fast in my real estate investing career. Because when you have a passive investor and you bring them a deal, then you make money. If you have an active investor and you bring them to Renatus, then you make money, right? And vice versa. If you have somebody in survival mode and you bring money, or you basically close on this deal, or you bring an active investor, a fellow student of Renatus, whatever that is, then you make money today, right? So this is what I want to talk about today. And obviously we know what to do with people that are not interested yet. Just say, well, thank you so much for your time. And, I hope you have fun with that. Because those are the people that tell you, I hope you have fun with that, doing this real estate investing stuff. And you just get to say in your mind, don't tell them this because they're going to come back one of these days. But you get to say in your mind, well, I hope you have fun with that. I hope you have fun being a part of the mindset that make me very wealthy in the next few years. But anyway, let's talk about this one. And every time you have somebody that is interested in one of these things, here's how you're going to find it. I like to call this being a detective. So this 4th of July, here's how I want all of us to be declaring our own financial independence to the people that we are around. Yeah, and here's how you do it. Here's how I was able to do it. So step 1 is, I call it form, or I've heard it called form before. And I've changed this last one just because I really like the Woody Woodward style. And so what this stands for is basically when you talk to other humans, other people in your life, friends, family, I don't care, acquaintances, people that you literally just met, you talk to them about their family and you'll get them talking. Okay, everybody has something to say about their family. You talk to them about their occupation. Okay, and so even if this is your own kids, I mean, you know them very well. You ask them, hey, how's work going? How's the family? What are you doing for fun? Recreation, okay? And then ask them this last one, I've changed it to P. What, other than work, what are you most passionate about right now? Like, what are you chasing? Okay. And so you start asking them those questions, and there's going to be a cool thing that happens. The more you ask, the more opportunity you create for yourself to move on to step 2, because they're going to say things about family, occupation, recreation, or their passions that is naturally going to lead you to real estate investing, to bring up the topic where as they're talking, you can be like, holy frijoles, because of what they just said. You'd be like, have you ever considered getting involved in real estate investing? Or you just start you just start telling them like, oh my gosh, I've been, because of this, I've been thinking about getting into real estate, or I've been, okay. And then you just start dropping real estate investing nuggets. Okay. So I want to give you guys a bunch of the nuggets that I use. Okay. So if I roll over here, as you're talking to other humans about themselves, and you tie in and like, oh my gosh, have you ever thought about getting into real estate or whatever? Okay. All you do is you start declaring your own intent for your own financial independence. Okay. Here's how I do it. I would say stuff like, dude, I just learned how, and there's a whole bunch of things you could do here, but here's one of them that I really caught somebody's eye. I said, I just learned how to get a $100,000 discount consistently on real estate here in my neighborhood. $100,000 discount, where I could literally sell that house within just a couple month period and cash out. And that is what, and so you'll talk about, I just learned, and then you'll talk about your goal. Okay. I still do this today. In fact, for this weekend, because a lot of, I've been doing this for 3 years now. So a lot of my friends, a lot of my family, they know I'm in real estate, or they already know I'm in Renatus. And so for me this weekend, where I'll be spending some time, and some of them know I'm in Renatus and some of them know I'm just in real estate. It'll be things like, oh my gosh, I just learned, or instead of writing that out again, I'm just going to do more bullet points. I just learned how to create what they call, or basically, I just learned how to create my own family bank. Who knows what I'm talking about here? What class is this? Create my own family bank for generations to come.
Gary Gunderson, Wealth Acceleration.
Oh yes, you've seen it too, brother. So this is some of the things I'm going to be dropping during this Independence Day while I'm gathered around friends and family. Is just telling my family, oh my gosh, I just learned how to create my own family bank, so that when I'm grown and gone, or even while I'm still here, if my kids or my children's children or my children's 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 children, when they need to go and buy like their first house, or when they want to get their first car, or if they ever need to borrow money, they don't have to go to just some traditional, Chase Bank or Wells Fargo or whatever. They can actually come to the family bank and apply for a loan, and it'll be legit. Like, it'll be a legit application process, but they can just borrow money at whatever today's rates are. So it's not going to be, I'm not going to give anybody discounts, or I'm not going to charge them up the wazoo. Like whatever the going rates are around the country, then my own family can come to my own bank to buy their first house, or to buy their first car, or go get a loan for maybe some education or something like that. And the way I'm creating this, it's going to last indefinitely, where even after like my children pass away, it will only add to the bank. And then and so on and so forth. So it'll grow infinitely over time to basically help everybody in the family as we have this big old pyramid. Because, you know, if my kids have 2, 3, 4, 5 kids and their kids have 2, 3, 4, 5 kids, then obviously we're going to have to grow this thing exponentially. And so that's one of the nuggets that I'm going to be dropping is I just learned how to do this. And this is what, again, I haven't done this yet. I mean, I guess you could say I got the ball rolling, but as far as setting it up for my kids and their kids' kids, like I'm still working on that. I did set it up for myself, but anyway, so I'll be talking about that especially because, you know, I'll be there with my parents, and I guarantee they're going to be interested in stuff like this. I'll be there with my brothers and sisters, friends, you know, some other family, that kind of stuff. And so I'll be dropping those nuggets. Other things, so $100,000 discount. I just learned how to buy a rental using other people's mortgages. Other people's mortgages. Somebody come off, tell me what class this one is. How to buy a rental using other people's mortgages.
In creative acquisitions or subject to by Brian Sump.
Exactly. Good work. Okay. So here, let me. All right. Okay. So other things. What are some ones that you guys have heard as well? I don't want you guys to just only have to use mine and ones that I've used that have worked. Has anybody, because I know people on here have sold a combo before or done a deal. What are some intrigue items that you guys have used as well? Here's one that I've used also, and I'll let somebody else come off. So come off when you're ready. But one of the things that I used was I just learned how to take double the write-off by paying my kids. Because right now you get the standard deduction just because you have kids. But if you own Renatus and you know, paying kids, and you know that you can pay them this year up to $12,000. I think it's like $12,300 if I remember right. It just went up by a few $100s. But you can take double the write-off by paying your kids for things like food, for things like, you know, grocery. I mean, kids eat food, so why not have the kids pay for their own food, or football practice, or swimming lessons, or, you know, whatever. Their own, you know, have the kids buy their own toys, type of a thing. So that's one that I've used in the past, and people have been like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool! How do you do that?" Okay. All right. I want to hear one from you guys though. Who has one? Who has an intrigue item? And it doesn't have to start with "I just learned," but who has an intrigue item that they have used before that they would be willing to share that has worked?
How about velocity banking? That's what sold me to get me involved in Renatus.
Yes. Something along the lines of, I just learned, I already wrote that out. I just learned how would you word it to create an intrigue item?
I don't know, I'm new, so.
Okay,
But
no worries.
I just learned how to pay off my in less than 10.
How about let's do this?
Can you hear
I
me?
just learned.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes. How about we do this? I just learned. Oh, sorry.
I usually say sometimes when I find out, like, how much did they get you for it? And they're like 30 years. And I say, did you know that you could pay off that 30-year mortgage within 5 to 10 years? So that's one I use.
I love it. I just learned how to own everything free and clear, including my house, in less than a decade. I love that one. Literally everything I see in my life that I've been paying on, I'm going to own free and clear. My home, my cars, my credit cards, all that, all those things. And I really like saying it that way. Like when I paid off all of my credit cards, I like to say, yeah, I own all my credit cards and I have them all free and clear. Or I own my vehicles, I own them free and clear. And we're still working on the house. All right, love it. I learned how to own everything free and clear in less than a decade. Or I learned how to pay off my house. I learned how to pay off my house in a third of the time. That's one that I really like. Okay, so remember though, this is just the beginning, because if you get somebody, I want to talk about what to do next, okay? And so let me actually add that one in really fast. Pay off my house in 1/3 of the time. Pay off house. Okay, so there's an art to this portion, because if you create the intrigue, that's awesome. Now is when the pressure's on, because now you can blow it, right? Because now they're interested, and you're just like, what do I do now? Like, and I remember feeling so nervous after creating the intrigue. But let me show you how to do this. So once you've created that intrigue, you'll know, because whoever you're talking to, so this is step 2. Step 3 is just identify intrigue. So once you have identified intrigue, essentially what that means is that they start asking questions. So once they start asking questions, you know they've bitten, right? You know that they're interested. Step 4 is, now this is going to be different for everybody here. Where I've been doing this for 3 years, I don't have the luxury of what a lot of the new people have. If you're new, you've got this luxury cop out that you get to just, I used the crap out of this when I was new. But if you're new, it's going to be something like this. If they start asking questions, you say, well, I'm still learning. If I were to say this and somebody showed up and saw that I was teaching the class, they'd be like, what the heck, Daine? But if you're new, then you get to say this. Even if you know, I wish I could still use this, to be honest, because it just works so much better. But if you just say, well, I'm just learning, I'm going to a class, and let me actually change that. I'm going to a free class and if you have a local event in your area, then you'll just say, I'm going to a free class on that day at that time, whether if you're here in Utah, I'm going to a free class on Thursday at 7, where I'll be learning more. Why don't you tag along? So here's the most important part. If you kill intrigue, and here's how you kill intrigue. You start telling them this and that and all the other things, and you start telling them about who this meeting is and what this is. If you start telling them about it, and if you douse the intrigue, then people will not show up. I mean, never, right? I mean, even in this box here, like people that are going to give you money to do real estate, if you just start telling them all this and that and the other over the phone before you ever get an actual meeting with them, you'll kill it. If you start telling them, oh man, I've got real estate deals and I could help you get your money into a deal, they're not going to, I mean, what do they call that? The rule of, oh man, I can't remember what it's called, but essentially it's that if you call people up and tell them that you've got deals and you need their money and you got to act fast, people are taught that if you have to act fast, then just don't do it, right? Now, that's crazy because in real estate, you need to act fast. So there's some groundwork that you've got to set up before you're able to act fast with people. Early on, you got to do it very slow, okay? Very slow. I mean, it's a process. Just create that intrigue and get them to come to a meeting, okay? That is how that's how you're gonna keep your highest likelihood of making money, is creating the intrigue and then getting the meeting where they're gonna hear about your business, okay? Whether they hear about Renatus, whether they hear about your what you want to do with your real estate deals, whatever it is, okay? So if you're new, I'm just learning, I'm going to a free class on this day, this time, where I'll be learning more. Why don't you tag along? I could get you a seat, and then you don't tell them anything else. Be like, yeah, I'll send you a text of where it is going to be, or I'll just come pick you up, or whatever that is, okay? And then you schedule the meeting, and then you guys both go, and then everybody gets to learn the things, okay? And they get to see the value, okay? If let's say you've already got some credibility, you've already done some deals. So here's how I do it now. If I create the intrigue and I do all the same stuff, when I get to this point, I just say, and now that I have the credibility, I'll actually use a little bit of that, okay? And even before I was in like a leadership position down at my local community, I would say things like, oh yeah, I'm actually a part of a networking group, and we're going to be getting together, and we'll be talking about this, and there's actually going to be somebody teaching on this concept of whatever it is that we created the intrigue with, and in fact, I'm going to be going down there on Thursday night. Why don't you tag along? And I've got some people I want to introduce you to. I love that phrase. I have somebody that I want to introduce you to down there, and it just makes them feel like, man, like they want me to meet like somebody because of the conversation that we've been having. I've gotten so many people to show up just because I said there's somebody down there that I want to introduce you to. Oftentimes I don't even know who it's going to be yet, because they show up. I don't know who exactly is going to be there, or who's going to be in the bathroom right when they show up, or where they're going to be. So when they show up, I just look around the room and say, ooh, I want to introduce them to this person because I know this person's a winner. Okay. So these couple of things are, let's do this. 4.1 is, this is if you have credibility. We're having an event. And then I want to get to, what if you don't have a local meeting? Okay, so we're having an event. And then basically just tell them to come. I'm going, why don't you tag along? Okay, now, what if, let's do 4.2. What if they can't come to the meeting because they're busy, they work, whatever it is? Never, ever, ever say like, oh, well, they're doing one next week. They do this every single week. Like, you never want to say that. If they just can't make it that week, then you'll say something like, cool, well, let me actually pull up my calendar. I mapped out a couple of the times that they're going to be meeting next. Oh, looks like they're actually meeting on Thursday at 7 next week. Could you come to that? Okay, so never be like, oh yeah, they do it every week. You want to come with me next week? Just make it sound like we just do it like once in a while. Okay, make it scarce, if you will. Okay, so if they can't make it, make it scarce. Okay, make it scarce. Oh yeah, we'll be there. Let me check my calendar and see whether I can do it again. Oh, looks like they're doing it on next Thursday. Okay. Or and sometimes what I'll do is I'll say, oh, looks like they're doing it on the 11th. The 11th, what day is that? Oh, that's a Thursday. Cool. So yeah, it looks like they're doing it on Thursday, the 11th of next week. Okay. Now, let's say you don't have any local events. Let's talk about that really fast. You're probably going to have to use like webinars and videos. Webinars, videos, that kind of stuff. Okay. So if it's that type of a person, I mean, everything is the same. I just learned, I'm doing this. They start asking questions, so you've got the intrigue. I'll do it like this. Okay. And there's a couple ways. If you are not 5-star and you have a working relationship with your 5-star, so if you're not 5-star and you have a working relationship with your 5-star, then basically you just need to decide. In fact, let me just do this because this is going to be a little more all-encompassing. Whoever is going to do the one-on-one, if that's going to be you or if that's going to be somebody else, whoever is going to do the one-on-one, you need to be in cahoots with this person. Okay. But here's how I do it with these videos. And this is the only way that I have ever found that this works very, very well. In fact, during the Renatus 90-day sales competition, I really wanted to boost my numbers and close a lot more, combos. And so I would not only book people to Thursdays, but I would also do what I'm about to show you. Okay. So I'd say, all right, this is the person that's going to do the one-on-one. So when I have somebody that's interested and they couldn't come to Thursday or they couldn't come to the event, I would say this. Cool. I actually have somebody, or I tell them myself, that I would actually love to meet with you one-on-one. In fact, and so if it was local, I'd say, let's meet at a deal. If they were not local, I would say, let's meet on Zoom. Okay. So I'd say, cool. I would love to actually meet with you. Let's get like a proper time. Let's block off like an hour where I can actually show you how this works. Or the person that I'm introducing them to. If you've got somebody else that's going to do your one-on-ones, then it might be like your 5-star. Okay. So I'd say, all right, let's set up a time where we can meet up together, or you can meet this person that you just big time like edified. Okay? And so I'd set up the meeting. I haven't sent them anything yet. No webinars, no videos yet. I just say, all right, let's meet on a Zoom this time or this day at this time. Okay. And I would schedule the meeting. Now pay very close attention to this portion. Okay. So you schedule the meeting, you talk it up and say, this is what we'll talk about. This is what we're going to learn. This is what I want to share with you, all that kind of stuff. Okay. And then I'd schedule the meeting and say, all right, now, and we already have this scheduled. Like I've punched it into my calendar. I've sent them a calendar invite, all that stuff. I say, all right, before we meet, I would love to have you watch a training that is actually going to go over. So I'd love to have you watch a training that is going to go over how I learned this, how I'm getting my start, and it'll also introduce some other topics. Things like getting $100,000 discount on a deal. Things like how to buy a rental. You know, you don't have to say all that stuff, but because you've already got the intrigue with the one thing, okay? So it's going to go over how I've learned how to do this, how I'm getting my start, and a few other topics, okay? This is, would it be okay? All right, so that's step one. Before we meet, can I have you watch a training that's going to go over this, this, and this, okay? Then they say, yeah, oh yeah, I could watch that before. And then you say, cool, it's about an hour and 41 minutes long, or however long the webinar that you've got a hold of. Okay, it's about an hour and 41 minutes long. Are you sure you can watch that before we meet? Are you sure? Yes. Cool. I'm so looking forward to meeting up and talking about this. This is going to be awesome. Okay. That is, again, this is the only way that I've been able to have people that could only watch a webinar series and then meet up one-on-one. This is the only way I've actually seen people actually watch the video, because I mean, it's like over an hour long. I mean, some of them are even 45 minutes long, or maybe 2 hours, okay? But, you know, so however long that is, like, it's a time commitment. If I ever started by saying, oh, you're interested? You got some intrigue? Watch this video. That's like a huge killer, usually. People are like, oh, dude, hour and 41 minutes? Like, I didn't tell you I was that excited about it. Like no. You gotta satisfy the intrigue by saying, cool, let's meet up. And I've got somebody I want you to meet. Or let's meet up, you and I. Whatever that is. Get the meeting. And then you say, cool, now that we've got this meeting, before we meet, are you okay if I have you go through a training that's going to go through basically how I learned this, and it's going to talk about how I'm getting my start, and you know, there will be a few other topics in there that I think you'll really enjoy. Is that okay? Cool. It's like an hour and 41 minutes. So are you sure that you'll be able to finish that before we meet? Great. I'll send it over right now, and then I'm looking forward to meeting you on that day at that time. That literally, that is the only way that I've seen it where people actually watch the video and then show up and they're ready to go, because they actually finished it in that time frame. Cool. All right, I know I saw some comments over here. So any questions? Any questions? Let's see, I just learned how to get 66% tax. Love it. Something fun to do is ask people to pull out their smartphone and ask their assistant, like Siri, hey Siri, what do 90% of millionaires invest in? They will pull up that they do real estate investing. That is awesome. So awesome. Bill, the video. So let's see. Oh man, does anybody know where you can find like a webinar series? I don't use these near as much anymore as I used to, because I'll just schedule them to come to like a Thursday or meet them one-on-one. But does anybody have a 4-pillar style presentation that you could share with somebody, or like a webinar? I know John O'Neill did one. I know Mitch did one. I know Scott Rowe has one. Is anybody using a webinar series right now that they could share? Let's see. Cool. So there's Scott Rowe's. Anybody have access to any of the other leaders that have done them, whether it's like a Mitch or a Michael presentation? Cool. I hope that helped, guys. This 4th of July, make sure that you are declaring your independence to your financial freedom to the people that you are around, because everybody needs this. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard my story, but I helped my dad get on velocity banking. And originally he was going to pay his house off in like 8 or 9 years, if I remember right. And he could literally, with what he's done with that HELOC and started investing in real estate, he could literally pay off his house today if he wanted to. And it is absolutely, I mean, changed his life. I got my uncle doing this just because I was at a family thing, family reunion. And my uncle's like, "What are you doing these days, Daine?" And I told him, I was like, "Oh man, I learned how to get $100,000 discounts on homes." And so my goal is to buy a few of these and then turn around and take the profits and pretend like they don't exist and just put them back into rental properties. And so my uncle's just like, cool. Like my uncle's in his 60s. So he just bought his combo a few months ago, and he says, "Daine, if all I do is buy a couple of rental properties," I actually want to save these myself, so let me screenshot them. If all I do is buy a couple of rental properties, and you help me get set up to pay them off in the next 5 to 10 years, like that's really all I want. So like, great, let's do it. Let me introduce you to the combo. This is what I bought. This is what you want. And so he got himself started. My sister, my baby sister, just bought because she's like, "Daine, I see that you're having success. I see you're having success, and it's in real estate. My husband," she just got married. My new husband and I have been thinking about getting into real estate, and we've never bought a house in our lives, but I think whatever you're doing, I think you can help us. So I said, cool. Her name is Sadie. I said, "Let me introduce you to the combo." And so she's getting started, and she's stoked, absolutely stoked. Every time I see her, in fact, I'm going to see her this weekend, she's telling me like, "Oh my gosh, guess what I just learned?" Or, because she's watching her education too. So anyway, hope you guys all have a wonderful 4th of July weekend. Make sure you declare your financial independence of what you're going to do, create that intrigue, and schedule the meetings, okay? Next week, I'm going to follow up. I want to hear some stories with what you guys were able to do, and I'll even share my own. So cool. Thanks, guys. Happy 4th of July. I'll see you next week.